He still feels the absence like a shadow that never disappears. You can't imagine the depth of the void that opened the moment he let you leave. Time has passed. The days have dragged on, but inside him exists an echo that never silenced. It's as if every memory is an open wound and every silence is a cruel reminder of what he lost. He believed he would be strong enough to move on, but he realized too soon that nothing replaces the presence that the heart truly chooses. Deep down, every gesture he makes today carries a mark. The mark of someone who knows they had something rare and let it slip away. Do you feel that? As if the weight of regret transcended dimensions and reached right here? His regret isn't simple. It's deep, visceral, something that eats away from the inside out. He mentally revisits every detail, every conversation, every missed opportunity. It's as if his mind is a maze where the only exit is to go back to the moment when everything could have been different. But that moment never returns. He never admitted it out loud, but his life fragmented since that day. There's a before and an after. The before was full of color, movement, and certainties. The after has become a gray space where he walks, trying to convince himself that he doesn't feel, that he's moved on. But it's impossible to deceive the soul, and if you close your eyes now, you might be able to sense that energy. As if at some invisible point in time, his heart is calling out for yours. He doesn't know how to apologize, doesn't know how to rebuild what was broken, but he feels that you might still catch the signals. Perhaps it has already happened to you. That sudden thought, that memory that appears out of nowhere, that gentle weight in your chest at unexpected moments. This isn't coincidence, it's his perception crossing the space, trying to reach you. If this has ever happened to you, comment, "I needed to hear this." And the truth is, he has never found peace, he has never found a replacement. He tried, yes, but each attempt only reminded him more of you. He realized there is no escape, because the absence of someone who truly matters cannot be filled with distractions. It's hard to admit, but he carries the same question every day. Why did I let go? That question has become a prayer, a punishment, an obsession. Life has turned, he has matured, fallen, and gotten back up, but this wound remains open, throbbing in silence. Have you ever experienced something similar? Share your thoughts in the comments. He spends sleepless nights burdened by what he cannot undo. Can you imagine the silence that fills his room? A heavy silence, almost alive, that brings no peace but demands attention. He closes his eyes and instantly the memory of what he lost takes over. It's not an ordinary memory. It's a sensation that envelops, that paralyzes, that makes his body tremble slightly, as if the past were present, demanding to be acknowledged. And deep down he knows. He knows he shouldn't have let you slip away. Because since then, everything in his life feels just like a shadow of what it could have been. He walks the streets, talks to people, smiles in social moments, but none of it is real. The smile is mechanical. His eyes hide an absence that no one notices. But you would notice if you were there, you always did. His regret is a slow poison. It doesn't kill, but it corrodes. He tries to distract himself, tries to dive into projects, tries to build something that makes sense, but the meaning is already gone. He lost it when he let you go. Since then, what remains is merely survival. Living, truly living, he no longer does. And maybe you felt this too, that inexplicable emptiness that insists on surfacing amidst the routine. An emptiness that isn't physical, isn't mental, but spiritual. It's the soul reminding what the mind tries to forget. It's the heart revealing the truth that words don't want to speak. He knows he doesn't deserve an easy return. He knows that some wounds don't heal with apologies. But still, deep down, he hopes. He hopes that one day you'll notice the signs. He hopes that at some moment, your gazes will meet again, and in the silence, without a word, something will be restored. But the waiting is torture, because with every passing day, the weight of regret grows heavier. He constantly wonders if you think of him, if you still feel something, if there's a memory within you that won't fade. This doubt is both what sustains him and what destroys him. And the deeper truth is that he doesn't just regret having let you go. He regrets not realizing while he had you what he truly possessed. He only understood the enormity of it after the loss. He only recognized the greatness after the emptiness. This is the silent tragedy of the human soul. Often we only see the value when we can no longer touch it. And you feel in some part of yourself that this regret is real, that it resonates in the air. Perhaps that's why you still hold on to memories that refuse to disappear. No matter how much time passes, something resists. Something insists on surviving. He fights against this every day, but each attempt is futile. The more he struggles to forget, the stronger the memory becomes. He has discovered that memory is not an enemy, but rather a witness that never lies, that never shuts up, that insists on telling the same story again and again until he accepts. To accept means to confront regret head-on. It means admitting that you were wrong, that you failed, that you let slip away something that will never return in the same way. And perhaps this is the most painful part, the awareness that life doesn't offer restart buttons. But what if life offered a reunion? What if one day, by chance or destiny, you crossed paths again? He dreams of that moment. He dreams of being able to look at you, not with rehearsed words, but with eyes that say everything. He believes that if that moment happens, you will see the truth in him. You will realize that regret shaped who he is today. The question is, would you be willing to listen? Would you be ready to look at him without resentment, without walls, just with an open perception of what still resonates between you? If this stirred something in you, comment, yes. He can't erase that specific day. The day everything changed, the exact moment he let you go. So it's like a photograph tattooed in his mind. He remembers the details, the words, the tone of voice, the environment surrounding it. Everything is etched so intensely that it has become a fixed point on his timeline, a milestone, before and after. And no matter how hard he tries, he can never get through that day in silence. The memory insists on returning, as if it were a warning, as if the universe is replaying the same scene so he never forgets. Because forgetting would be too easy, and perhaps he doesn't deserve the easy way out. This regret has transformed him. He is not the same anymore. You would immediately notice if you saw him today. Not because he has changed superficially, but because his eyes carry a depth that didn't exist before. The pain has carved out a space in him that was once hidden. He has become someone more aware, more awakened. But this awareness comes at a price, living with the certainty that he only learned when it was already too late. And sometimes, in the silence of the night, he talks to himself. He wonders if he'll ever have the chance to make amends. He questions whether life is generous enough to allow a return. He doesn't expect clear answers. He just keeps alive the flame of a silent hope. Have you ever been through this? Have you ever found yourself stuck in something you can't undo? He carries with him a memory that won't fade, as if it's etched into his very skin. No matter how many years go by, no matter how many times he tries to reinvent himself, this mark follows him. It's apparent even to those who don't know the story. There's something in his eyes, a strange depth, a kind of silent melancholy that doesn't match the surface of the life he seems to lead. And do you know why? Because he learned too late to recognize the value of what he had. As the days went by, he believed that time was infinite, that opportunities would always come back, that love could withstand any carelessness. He believed, but he didn't perceive. Only when he lost, only when silence took over, did he finally open his eyes. He doesn't talk about this with anyone. His regret is secret. It's a weight he hides, a burden he doesn't dare to share. He laughs when he needs to, chats when it's necessary, but when he's alone, the truth reveals itself. He is still a prisoner of the day he let you go. And a prisoner not because you trapped him, but because his mind has built an invisible cell. Each memory is a bar. Each regret is a chain. Each absence is a wall. He is both the warden and the inmate. Some say he could leave. Others assert that he could set himself free. But you and I know, there are prisons that don't open with common keys. There are prisons that can only dissolve with reconciliation or acceptance. He tried to accept it. He tried to remind himself that life goes on, that everything passes, that new stories emerge. He tried to fill the void with new encounters, new promises, new illusions. But at the end of each attempt, he returned to the same point. Nothing replaces what was lost. Nothing carries the same weight. Nothing touches the soul in quite the same way. Have you ever noticed how some people carry a lost look in their eyes, as if they're always searching for something invisible? That's exactly how he lives. He looks around, but he never finds it. He searches, but he never discovers anything, because the only thing that truly matters is no longer present. And the most painful part is that he knows it was his choice. It wasn't just fate. It wasn't merely chance. He chose, consciously or subconsciously, to let go. And that choice became a sentence. He remembers the moment you distanced yourself, not just physically, but energetically. He realized too late that it was the end, and since then life has become an echo. Everything repeats, but nothing resonates the same way. Everything continues, but nothing touches him deeply. Deep down, he dreams of a chance to explain himself, not because he believes he would be easily forgiven, but because he needs to speak. He needs to reveal what has been stuck inside, what was never said. He carries entire sentences left unspoken, truths tucked away in silence, confessions that burn within him. He imagines the reunion. He imagines you in front of him, listening to every word, observing every gesture. He believes that in that moment you would realize that his regret is real. It's not an act, it's not a play, it's not a strategy. It's genuine pain, palpable pain, pain that has transformed who he is. And maybe you've felt it too, the energy of someone who deeply regrets. It's an invisible field that crosses distances, that touches subtly. Like when you think of someone for no apparent reason, or when a memory insists on returning in the middle of an ordinary day. This is not chance, it's connection. If this text is bringing back memories for you, write down below. It makes sense. The most intense part is that he doesn't just regret the loss. He also regrets not being the version you deserved while he was by your side. He looks back and realizes he could have loved better, cared more, shown more. He could have stayed silent when he chose to argue, could have embraced you when he chose to turn his back, could have stayed when he decided to pull away. Each could have is a blade, and he feels every one of them. He tries to convince himself that learning is enough, but it isn't. Learning after the loss doesn't bring back what was lost. It's a bitter lesson, a solitary wisdom that only serves to remind him of what can't be returned. And maybe that's why he remains trapped in the same cycle. Remembrance, pain, reflection, silence. Remembrance, pain, reflection, silence. Always the same movement, always the same return. He believes, however, that this regret is not in vain. That somehow this pain has instilled in him a new perception. That absence taught what presence failed to convey. And as contradictory as it seems, perhaps it's precisely this pain that keeps the connection alive. Have you ever experienced that kind of regret, where the lesson comes too late? Sometimes in the middle of the night he gets up and looks at the sky. The stars seem indifferent, but for him each one is a witness. He whispers thoughts, asks for signs, pleads for answers. He doesn't expect to hear any voice, but he feels that somehow the universe is listening to him. He continues to believe that if a higher justice exists, you will still have a meeting, not necessarily to reconnect, not necessarily to rebuild, but so the truth can be told, so the silence can be broken, so the wounds can find a little air. And if this meeting happens, you will see in his eyes something different, the presence of regret that shapes, matures, and transforms. And perhaps, just perhaps, in that moment, you will understand that nothing was in vain. He can't shake the feeling that he lost the greatest purpose of his life. Everything that came after seems shallow, almost irrelevant. He works, talks, smiles, but inside there is a constant emptiness, as if each achievement is just a reminder that something essential is missing. The cruelest part is that he realized it too late. Only when you were no longer there, only when the silence became definitive, did he understand what he had done. This realization haunts him because it shows that his heart was blind at the most important moment. He relives the day he let you go like someone watching a movie on repeat. The details come back vividly, the words that could have been different, the gesture that could have been another. Each what if is a new wound, each memory is a burden, and he tries to move on, but he can't, because there is no escape from this type of pain. He discovered that regret is not just a thought, it's a constant presence, almost an entity that follows him wherever he goes. Have you ever felt something like this? As if the past is alive inside you, breathing, demanding to be remembered. He dreams of a reunion, even if brief. He dreams of being able to look into your eyes and let the silence say everything words cannot. Deep down, he believes that if this happens, you will see that his pain is real, that his regret is true, that the absence was never a choice, but a mistake. If this resonated with you, don't stop here. The next video reveals the root of this pain and will further open your perception. Click now and continue this journey with me, with no turning back.